Laradon has a long and far-reaching history that has made better lives for thousands of children and adults with developmental disabilities in Colorado. This history began with two loving parents, two sons with disabilities, and one dream of a brighter future for people with special needs. In 1948, Joseph and Elizabeth Calabrese opened the first school in the Rocky Mountain region for children with developmental disabilities after their own children were denied an education in the public school system because of their disabilities. This pioneering school was named Laradon, a combination of the names of the Calabrese's two sons, Larry and Donald. This school was located near the northwest corner of Federal and Spear Boulevards and was quickly filled with children in need of education and training. In the 1950s, the Colorado Elks Association purchased a vacant school building for Laradon in the Globeville neighborhood of North Denver. Over time, numerous buildings were added to accommodate the continued growth. In 1954, Joseph Calabrese was elected to the state legislature. Mr. Calabrese served the state of Colorado until 1975 and continually fought for the rights of children and adults with developmental disabilities. As Laradon grew, it continued to establish its legacy of providing innovative services to children and adults with developmental disabilities. In 1966, a book called Functional Teaching for the Mentally Retarded was written based on the teaching methods created by Laradon teacher and former boxer Roy Dolly McGlone and received national acclaim. With so few testing and teaching tools available for Laradon's educators of children with special needs, a curriculum called LaDoCA, named after Larry and Donald Calabrese, was developed by Laradon in 1963 to test children to determine the presence and extent of developmental disabilities. Joseph Calabrese's continuous efforts in the legislature resulted in a bill that established a community-based, statewide system of services and supports for children and adults with developmental disabilities throughout Colorado. This system of community-centered boards is still in use today. In the 1970s and 1980s, Laradon continued to expand its campus and programs. An auditorium and classrooms were added. Laradon's early education program was established to provide early intervention services to infants and preschool-aged children. In 1983, Governor Richard D. Lamb honored Joseph and Elizabeth Calabrese for their support of children and adults with developmental disabilities. In the 1990s, Laradon deinstitutionalized its campus and shifted away from congregate settings. This change enabled Laradon to continue fulfilling its founder's dream that people with developmental disabilities should have the same rights and opportunities as those without disabilities. Additional programs and services were added to fulfill the three main program areas: family, infants, and toddlers, alternative school for children aged 5 to 21, and adult programs.